What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're back again for another one, thank you for your support. If you're here for the first time and you like all things EDC, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Let me know what you think. Hit that little thumbs up, hit the bell so you get notifications every time a video comes out. If there's anything you don't like or if there's anything that you think, comment that down below. I like a lot of the discussions we have with people on the channel, so definitely start the dialogue down below. The last couple weeks have been really slammed. I actually went out and did an NRA instructor course, so now I'm qualified to teach pistol classes. So yay, hooray for that. So I've been trying to focus on getting some of that going, but I'm back. And as you can tell, that little flashlight giveaway video that I just did recently, I definitely want to do the review on that and give that away to you guys so we finally start giving stuff away. One of my purposes is to give away stuff to arm people. Obviously, as big as the channel gets bigger, the more stuff I can give away. I'm not rich, so as I can give stuff away, I will. Whether it's used, brand new, if I get anything sent to the channel, I'll do reviews on it and give that stuff away. So definitely subscribe down below. I'm not sure how we're gonna do the giveaway yet. If any of you guys have ideas, let me know, but I'm still thinking through it. But I definitely want to do that in the next video. So without further ado, today we got a good one for you guys. Today we're going over this girl you see here. And as you can tell just by the look, I'm sure everybody recognizes a Glock. So this is the Glock 48 specifically. This is one of the earlier editions, as you can tell by the two-tone and the front of this thing, which we'll go over in a minute. So let's head on over to the gun range, throw some of that footage in there, then we'll head down to the tabletop. So here we go. What's going on, guys? We're here down at Pembroke Gun and Range once again in South Florida. These guys are always nice enough to let me come down here and get some footage. They got great service down here, guns and everything else you need. We're down here today testing out this baby you see here, Glock 48. So let's put some couple shots down range and see how she shoots. Not bad, flawless. You guys should see this group you see down here. Check out this little group. Whoop. Not bad, she's pretty accurate. Let's come on back down here. Let's put another mag in her and put some more down range. Not bad at all, pretty flawless. Feels good, I really like this thing. This thing is more like a SLIMLINE 19. It's really nice on the hands. As you can see, it's pretty thin there. And it's got a little compensator on the front end, which helps it shoot nice and flat. But I like this thing. I can get a really good grip on it. I used to carry a 19 for a while, so I'm used to the frame size, but this one's slightly thinner, so I can get a much better grip on this thing. As you can tell, this one has a nice little minimalist mag well here on the bottom, so it keeps your hand pushed up nice and good. So when you get a firm grip on this thing, keeps your hand pushed up nicely, though I am completely on that grip. So I really do like this thing. Let's put a couple more mags in it, put some more rounds down range. Runs pretty good. I'm loving this thing. It actually feels really good in the hand. This might just get me going back to Glock. So far, so good. I'm liking it. She's got a nice little, that little thin grip, that little difference between the 19 and the 48. It's really catching on to me there. So here she is, the Glock 48. Let's go over from front to back, all the features. Basically what you have from this gun here. I'm going to be making a lot of references and comparisons to the Glock 19 because this is basically, essentially, a slimline Glock 19, if you will. So let's go over front to back and let's talk about it. So this is chambered in 9mm, as you can see there. It has a 4.17-inch barrel, so standard barrel size. It's pretty good length. It's not subcompact, it's compact. She has an overall length of 6.8 inches, obviously not with the threaded barrel here. This is extra. It has overall height, including the mag, of just over 5 inches tall. So that's pretty decent. It's like I said, Glock 19 style size. It's basically essentially the same size frame this way. It just makes a big difference when you get to this way. So the overall width is just over an inch, 1.1 inches. You can see this one comes with front and rear serrations. So it's got more of a Gen 5 style feel to it. As you can tell, it's got also no finger grooves here. So it's got the front and back serrations. This is an earlier edition, like I was saying, because it's got the two-tone look to it, which apparently they did way at the beginning. A lot of people like it. A lot of people hate it. Big deal. It's a Glock. A lot of people like it. A lot of people hate it. But as you can tell, the earlier editions did not have an accessory rail here on the front. I don't think they call them generational differences, but they are different editions because the Glock 48 MOS has a accessory rail here on the front, which is probably more ideal. And the MOS obviously comes optic ready. I don't know if there are any non-optic readies that come with accessory rails. If you know, let me know down below. So this one specifically here has a threaded barrel here on the front. As you can see, the barrel switched out with a little compensator on here. So this is actually the Griffin Armament threaded barrel, which you see here. This is the stuff they came with. It comes with this micro carry comp you see here on the front, which actually works really good. I mean, it shoots nice and flat. Also, I think this gun is just a more flat shooting gun than the micro carries, which I'm used to carrying a P365X on a daily basis, and this thing definitely soaks up recoil better than that does. So I actually really like the way this thing shoots. The little carry comp here on the end looks like it does its function. Go back to the top here. This thing comes with standard Glock sights like every other Glock, which are nothing special. They're plastic sights. I mean, I'd be quick to take those off and remove them and put some better ones on, because I've actually dropped another Glock before, and just from it hitting the floor, this whole thing went slanted. So that plastic is no good. As you can see here, this is an aftermarket slide release, which functions really good. But Glock has never really had a problem with the slide releases, but this one does look nice. It functions well. This is actually not my pistol, but after shooting this thing, I actually really like the way this thing feels. I might consider making an offer on this thing. I really like the way it shoots. I just can't decide if I want the 48 standard version or the 48 MOS. I'm deciding. We'll see how that ends up. So as you can see, gun is empty, gun is safe. Going to the front here, as you can tell, this thing has basically the frame of the 43X. It just has an extended version, or extended barrel, sorry. So from what I understand, you can take this off, put a 43 slide on it, and it should work just fine. So as you can see, as we were talking about earlier, the Gen 4s still had the finger groove there. Gen 4 Glocks. This is more the Gen 5 style where it doesn't have the finger grooves. And while we have this here, as you can see, this is basically, let's do a comparison. It's basically a Glock 19 length. I'll show you there if we butt them both up. Slide it to the front, same length, but as you can tell, the biggest difference is in that thickness. It's got a much thicker profile to it. Definitely in these grips. As I said before, I'll roll in some footage of that Handgun Hero so you can see quite the difference. But when you overlay it this way, the two-dimensional lengths, they're basically the same pistol with a couple differences. If you notice, the Glock 19 is really cut off here on the back end, and this one brings a more pronounced beaver tail there. So I really like that. You don't have to add a back strap to it, so that's cool. I really like that option. As you can see there, it keeps your meat out of the way so you don't get that Glock bite. Not exactly the same thing with this one. If you got bigger, meatier hands, you can easily overcome that and have quite the problem there on your hands. So just to comment on both, I love these finger grooves. I actually really like this thing too though. So to each his own. As you can tell, this one here has like that minimalist mag well here at the bottom, which actually works really nice. It looks like it's like a cheap 3D printed one, but it's very well placed on there. It doesn't move at all. As you can see there, it doesn't move at all. It plugs in by pressure on the bottom here. And this thing actually works really great. I was shooting it, I had zero problems with it. As you can tell, it looks really nice on there. It's very similar to the one I actually have on my Glock 19, which is even more minimalist. So I like having those on there, but small enough to where it doesn't print and it doesn't protrude when you're carrying everyday carry. Standard Glock trigger here that has the little weenus, dingus, whatever you want to call it, whatever guys are calling it these days. But you have the little trigger safety here, which I'll point out. You see there? So in order to pull the trigger, you definitely got to defeat that thing. Unless you do that. Once you do that, it tucks up in there and you can pull the trigger. But unless you do that, it jams up right there. So that's a trigger safety. You got your standard mag release there, which works just fine. Glock is what they're most famous for, is doing exactly what you buy it to do. They're not going to go above and out of this world, but every time you use a Glock, it's going to do exactly what you bought it to do. When you push this thing, it's going to go bang. When you push this thing, the mag's going to fall out. So they've been very consistent with that over the years. Glock has just built a brand. They're not known as being innovative, creative, out of this world, but they definitely do what you pay them to do, and that's get this thing to go bang. You can bet your life on these things. As you can see, it still has the same grip angle. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, you can see that same grip angle there. So for all the Glock guys, that's normal. As you can see, the trigger guard is almost identical there. There's a slight difference, not even. You can see that trigger guard is just the same. So that's basically the Glock 48. As you can see, the optic almost looks like it's sticking right up over the top there. Same trigger. But my overall impression of this thing was, this thing shoots really nice. I'm really thinking about getting one of these and putting it on my waist for EDC. Along with this threaded barrel and compensator, it shoots really nice and flat. I'll probably think of another option. I don't like how far this sticks out, but whether it's this one or another one, but I definitely am thinking of switching over to one of these. So let me know down below if you guys carry a Glock 48, whether it be this one, the MOS version, which I would definitely get the MOS version because I'm a red dot guy, as you can tell. But let me know down below what your experiences are with this thing. How do you like it? How long you've been carrying it? What kind of modifications have you done to it? What kind of parts have you changed out on here that you find better than the standard parts? Because one thing Glock is good for is leaving the internals just the way they are. This thing will be super reliable. But now there are aftermarket parts that can make the experience much better. So comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything you want to know about this thing, I mean, there's not a whole lot to go over. It's a Glock. It's nothing that we haven't gone over in another video for a Glock. You got your standard takedown levers there. You got your ejector here, the aftermarket barrel. And that's basically it. You got your standard trigger. I'm always gonna be a fan of undercuts. So if I did get a hold of one of these, I'd do these, which I did myself. As you can tell, they're still a little rookie style. But then I'd stipple it. I'd do all the good works to it. And this thing looks like it would be a very viable carry option. So comment down below, guys. That's my first impressions. That's my overview of this thing. If there's anything you guys want to know about it, feel free to ask down below. Coming up next is the free giveaway video. If you haven't seen that, I'll leave that up here. Oh, real quick before we go, I wanted to also show you guys the comparison in mags, because this thing is essentially a single stack, but it doesn't feel as skinny as the Glock 43 I had. Maybe it's just my perception of it, but this is the Glock 19 double stack and this is the single stack. But they do make the shield arms 15 round mags for these. So I would say if anybody has a Glock 48, the 15 round mags is a must, no questions asked. This is too much of a gun to just be carrying 10 rounds. That's ridiculous. See, this thing carries 15 plus 1, and they're about the same size. So there's no reason, obviously, Glock can't squeeze as many rounds as other people can because they keep doing plastic mags. But that's what's kept them in business. That's what they know. That's what they keep putting out. But once you get the steel mags, you can definitely squeeze a lot more rounds in there because the walls get thinner. You have more space in there. So that's the thought behind that. But 100%, anybody has a Glock 48 or even the 43X, 100% you should have the 15 round mags. And from what I've heard, I don't personally have any, but they're reliable. I haven't heard any problems from them. So that's just another point I wanted to touch on. That's it, guys. There she is, the Glock 48. You guys want to hear some ASMR? If I didn't say it before, it's the standard 5.5 pound trigger, standard Glock, so nothing major. But that's her. Unless you guys have any questions, I'll see you guys in the next ones. If you do have questions, comment down below. Get informed, get armed, get trained. Above all, Jesus Christ is King. You're always a day away from eternity, so always be ready. Know where you're going when you die. If there's any prayer requests, feel free to put them not in the comment. Email me at allthingscincoedc@gmail.com, taking prayer requests on behalf of anybody that needs prayer in their life. Jesus Christ is King. He's mighty and able to do all things. Catch you guys in the next one.